you guys, and thank you so much for tuning into my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you how I made these two Geode resin wall art. Do you want to know? Stay tuned. Okay, you guys. So I've been trying to find something to put on this wall for a very long time, and I decided I want to make it myself. So this is going to be my journey on trying resin for the very first time. So if you want to see how I made these, then here you go. So today I'm going to basically be walking you through and showing you my very first time ever working with resin. And I probably should have started with like a smaller project first. No. Tracy goes big or goes home, because I just went right out to the project that I wanted for my wall, and they're not small. Okay, so these are the two boards that I purchased from Lowe's. They already come pre-cut. This one here is a 16 by 36. And then this one over here is a 24 by 36. So what I did is I just basically, one was bigger than the other because I have more room on one side of the window than the other. So the bigger one, I just stuck there on the wall, kind of curved out a different like shape to it to go around the little moons and the window and other things on the wall, just to create a different shape. And then I went and held the other one up and did the same exact thing. I set both boards side by side, and I see like this one ends here and this one goes down a little bit more, and then down here I was going to do something that ends here and here. So I'm actually going to modify this a little bit. Okay, so I just basically even that out so it's going to look like one cohesive kind of chunk taken out, and down there I kind of did the same exact thing, so both sides will have the same angle there and here. So I had my man cut it. He just safety first. If you guys do this, put shoes on maybe. I was like editing, I'm like, you didn't even have shoes on. You straight have a sock on holding that board. But I mean, hey, safety first. He knows what he's doing. So just saying, you might want to put shoes on. And he didn't. So I had him use his little saw thing just to cut around my pencil marks. Okay, so basically with all of these little ragged edges from cutting, I'm going through just with some sandpaper, and I'm just smoothing out all of the edges just so it's nice and smooth. I've already done this side. Now I need to do all of the sides like that. Okay, so now all of the edges are pretty smooth and everything is all cleaned up, so now we can paint. Okay, so I propped them up with my little cups, and I'm just going to use just ready to pour acrylic paint to paint over this whole thing to start a white base. I first made sure that both boards were completely level before I moved forward. I then painted the white and all of the edges completely white, and I did 2 coats. I then let them dry overnight. Okay, so I'm going to go over the supplies and stuff that I purchased. I don't know how much of this I'm going to use, what all I'm going to use. I just kind of bought stuff so I have it, and then whatever I have left over I could always use at another time. But I bought this fire glass right here, and then this color. And then I also bought this color of more of like a smoky dark gray. I got some tiger's eye stones to put in a little bit, and then I also got glass to match. And then to go around these areas, I got this coppery kind of glitter. I don't know if I'm going to use this or not. I'm not kind of really thrilled with that color now that I have everything out. Again, I was just kind of buying things. I don't know, we'll see. I got white and black. Those I definitely will be using. In here, I have just like these smaller white crystals. I also got this at Michael's, and it is a decorative filler, but it's like crushed glass. And then this color, which is more of like a taupe, going with like more of the brownish colors. Again, I was trying, I don't know yet. I bought these so I can glue around some of the edges. I got 2 strands of those. And then I got some of these crystals. So I bought some little rhinestones to put on. I bought these like chunkier glitter. I have some resin. I don't know if I'm going to need to buy more. I got some of these sticks. I got this. Here's some painting pins. I bought some cups. I bought this, but I'm actually not going to use it on the edges. I do want my color to go through the edges. And then I bought this little resin kit over here that came with all of this stuff. I bought these 2 clusters to put on there as well in 2 different spots, on one on each. And then I bought all of this for the resin. And again, I'm not quite sure which colors. I definitely know there's going to be some black, white, pearl, brown probably, or like this coffee color. That looks like that might be pretty. I don't know. I'm gonna just like wing it as we go. But that's everything that I purchased, and we'll see what we use. So I first started off by gluing all of my crystal points to these 2 edges where I wanted them. I wanted to make sure I first had enough, so I did a thinner layer to make sure that it was all completely full from top to bottom. And then once that was done, I went through all of the remainders just to fill in the areas and make it nice and full. So the night that I was gluing down all of the crystal points, it was actually really cold in the garage. I think that helped in my favor because with the hot glue, as soon as I was putting it down, it was kind of cooling instantly. So I didn't have to sit there and hold, because they're heavy, you know, crystals they have some weight to it. So I didn't have to sit there and actually hold it. Nothing was falling off or moving because it was so cool. So now I'm going to start working on my pattern. I'm going through all of the crushed glass and the crystals, and I'm just going to form a pattern on how I want this to look. Okay, you guys, earlier I came in just to grab something and I started adding more to the silver. I did it off camera because I really wasn't trying to be in here. It was 100 degrees, but I did add some silver here, and I added a little bit more silver glass there, continued over to right here, a little there, and a little there. So now I'm going to glue down the large crystal clusters in the center, and then I'm going to work on finishing this particular color here so then I can start the resin. So I used my normal glue gun and I glued down the large crystal clusters, and now I'm just finishing my pattern and laying everything down on the board on how I want it to look. This part here was a little tedious and probably took the longest time because this particular shade of glass, I wanted that taupe brownish color to point forward, and it was only on one piece of the little tiny piece of glass. So I literally have to take each piece and turn it until that one side is facing forward and set it down and hope that next time I set my next piece down, I'm not going to trample them over and they fall. So again, this took the longest amount of time, but the outcome was well worth it. Then using my glue gun, I went ahead and glued all of the rocks and glass down the side to continue the pattern through the sides as well. Okay, so now this is how it looks after I've glued down the sides and everything is laid down the way that I want. Now next is starting resin. So mixing the resin, it says to do it between 75 to 80 degree weather, and it's 1 + 1. So it's equal parts. I start with A, I'm putting in 4 ounces, and then I'm going to put in 4 ounces of B. Now that I have both equal parts in there, this is where you just literally take your time to stir it like very slowly. You don't want to create more bubbles than you have to, but you do need a thorough stir, even like going on the edges, making sure that everything is going to be mixed in, but you do need to mix it for about 5 minutes. Just remember to stir slowly. Make sure you stir it until it's completely clear, and scrape the sides and the bottom throughout as you're doing it. See how you can still see like white milky lines? Keep stirring until it's completely clear. Okay, so right now I'm going to start off by just putting a light drizzle over all of the glass, the rocks, the crystals, everything that is on the board. I'm just going to take my stick and I'm just lightly drizzling back and forth over everything so it can get a nice little drizzle. You don't need to soak it completely. As long as one piece touches another piece, they are stuck together. So just a light little drizzle as so until I'm completely done. So this is a close-up of how it looks when the resin is just drizzled over everything. And then I'm going to let this sit for 24 hours and then tomorrow I will finish. So today I'm mixing 3 different colors. I'm doing black with black glitter, white with white glitter, and then I have a gray. I'm starting off by putting down the white first, making sure that fills in everywhere, and then now I'm putting in the 2 darker colors. I'm actually just making the pattern up as I go. I'm using a heat gun to A, pop the bubbles, and then to B, move the resin around to make the color formation that I would prefer. Okay, so today is a new day. It's been 24 hours. I ran out of resin, I ran out of color, and the heat gun took a dump on me. So I had to wait for new orders to come in, and now I can continue and finish the rest of the board. I'm also using my stirring stick to run across all of the edges to make sure that all of the colored resin and everything does pull down to continue the design on the sides as well. Now I will let this sit for 24 hours. So now that that has done and dried for 24 hours, I'm taking my paint markers. I used white, gray, and black, and I'm just running along the design. I'm not going exactly in the same line as the resin color. I'm just kind of going offset a little bit just to give it a little extra flair. Now I'm going through and adding actual glitter glass. It's very, very fine, thin glitter glass that's very sparkly. You want to do that at the last step so it doesn't drown it with the resin. So I put that on first, and now I'm doing the top coat or the flood coat. It's just another thin, clear layer that goes over the top, and then you let that sit for 24 hours and it's done. Okay, you guys, so it has actually cured for 72 hours straight. So now I'm basically just going to pick them up and kind of knock off anything that might be extra. The only extra that I think we will have, it would be up through here. But all of this should be 100%. So let's see. Yeah, that's just what I thought. Oh, hold on. Just trying to make sure I get all of that extra. There we go. Okay, I think that is good. Same thing with this one. It's gonna just be probably what's in here. Everything else seems like it is, it's on. So. Okay, So she's ready to be hung up.
Okay, so this step I got help yet again from my man. He went ahead and measured where he wants to hang it. He used like this wired picture frame material, and he went ahead and did that on both of them so we can get them hung up on the wall. Okay, so after looking at these on my wall for well over a month, the only thing that is bothering me is this little clusters just kind of look funny just with just the cluster hanging out. So I went ahead and bought another set of these crystal points, and I'm gonna go ahead and just glue some around here just to kind of fill in, you know, like some of the gaps and have just some stick out. I think it'll look like it makes more sense that way. I don't know, I could be ruining it, but let's see. So this is how they look, just literally one cluster just sitting there. So let's go ahead and let's glue some pieces on. And here I'm using my glue gun to glue down the crystal points. Okay, I feel that that looks so much better. And I honestly don't think that they need the rhinestones anywhere. I tried to set some a few places and it just didn't look like it made sense to me. So I'm not going to use these. I'll just save these for another project. So I'm going to consider this done. And here is the finished product on the wall. Now that I'm done with the project, I wanted to show you what I did use versus what I did not use. So I did not use any of these, so I'll just save these for another project. I did use all of the white and the black glitter. I did purchase some more halfway during it because I ran out, but I did use all of those. I did use all of the white pearl, and then I bought another one right here so I could finish the project. I did use black and silver gray to make the darker colors that I use. So those are the only three colors that I did use. I did have to purchase a new heat gun halfway through. And then I believe I only used the white and the black pins. I might have used one of the grays, but I know I definitely didn't use any of the other colors. And then I only used this color of the fire glass. I did not use this color for this project. I absolutely love the way that it came out. At first, I thought I really did mess things up. There was one spot on the right-hand side that's a silver and it looks kind of like a pearlescent. It has like all these little holes in between. It looks badass. I thought I messed something up, but it's actually a technique that you do with a torch. And I achieved it with the heat gun somehow, not even knowing. So I thought it was a good mess up, and it actually ended up being even better because it's actually a good technique. So that's awesome. But again, it was all just a huge learning experience for me. I'm so glad that I did this because now I want to do more things with resin. I want to do a beach scene that I'm going to do for my man's mom. I do want to do a smaller board, something that would be a lot easier. Maybe if any of you wanted to do one, it would be easier to follow along with than a big project that I started with. So I will be doing a smaller one just in case this might look a little intimidating or you might not need something so big. You want something smaller. That video will be coming so you can see me doing a smaller one now that I kind of know what I'm kind of doing a little bit. I mean, I was a little intimidated because I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I watched very, very few videos, which a lot of them didn't even show how they did the top coat. They just said they had to do a top coat. So I'm like, what in the hell is a top coat? So like I had to do some research to try to figure out some stuff because a lot of the videos that I was watching didn't show the full steps, didn't show like how to mix the resin, nothing like that. So when you are mixing the resin, it says on the instructions the temperatures to do it in. I believe it's 75 to 80 degrees. So the very first time I was mixing the resin, it was literally like over 100 degrees in there and I didn't know any different. Again, first time. So I'm mixing it, I'm getting tons of bubbles, it's heating up in my hand, feeling really, really hot. I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I just thought maybe I mixed it wrong, but it's 1-to-1. So if I have 4 ounces of one, you put 4 ounces of the other. So I couldn't have mixed anything wrong, but it was because of the heat. And again, I did not know that. It also falls in the same category if it's too cold, because if it's too cold, it doesn't set right either, which that was like my mistake on the second day. Live and learn. With Florida's bipolar weather, it could be 40 one night and it could be 100 the next. So that's what I was working with. So at least now, learn from my mistake. Definitely be patient and do it in the right temperatures. That's just be patient. I'm not a patient person, but learn from my mistakes. And I can't wait to start playing with more resin, do the beach theme, something completely different. I can't wait for that with the sand and some shells and the water and the waves. I can't wait to do that one. I'm like so excited. So that is everything that I have for this particular video, you guys. Comment down below and let me know, have you ever worked with resin before? Have you ever wanted to? What was it that you would like to make? Do you want to start playing with it now? Definitely comment down below. Your positive interaction means the world and I greatly do appreciate it, as I greatly appreciate every single one of you guys. So until next time, you know that drill. Keep a smile on that gorgeous face of yours and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Crafty crew, out.